probably not the result you were after. You made a great analogy in the presser about you're on a bus and you hit some traffic. How do you get out of that traffic for this weekend against the winless side that'll be no doubt focused on getting their first win of the season?
Yeah, we talked about it last night in our team meeting, and I think we're one of those teams that when the fixture comes out, people circle it and say, great, we're playing the Swans, and it's a great opportunity. And it's no different to when we are a good side and we're up near the top of the ladder that people will circle it and say, let's try and knock a top side off. So it's you can't win wherever you are, and with that mindset. And so we've taken the approach that every team's going to come at us, and we were slightly off with our work rate and intensity on the weekend, and Hawthorns were up another level, and that's what you get. And so I think that the big fix for us is just to bring effort and intensity and play our way. And Hawthorn planned really well, and we're able to shut our ball movement down. And then if you don't bring your effort and intensity, and then you can't get the ball moving your way, you're going to struggle. So this week's all about bringing effort and intensity, getting back to our way we want to move the ball.
Is there a sense among the group that this week can be a chance to rectify maybe a game you probably should have won last week?
Yeah, definitely. It's we're concentrating week by week, but our philosophy is that we're on this road to continual success. So we want our down weeks to be not so down, and our up weeks to be not so up. We want to try and find that linear line, and clearly that's not sport. That's not elite sport. That's not the way it works. But that's our mindset. So, for instance, post-clearance stuff last week, we felt we really dipped in that area that we were pretty good at for a few weeks before that. Even in the loss to Carlton, we were pretty good at it. So it's a matter of our brand, our way, finding what that level is, and then trying not to dip, and then trying not to get too high. Because and I know you do dive into the stats, Gemma, but if you look at our uncontested game, it was way too high. The stats were way too high, so it's not sustainable. So you can't have it too high and you can't have it too low, and we just need to find that level. And what we did last night was dive into the whys of that and how that can happen and what we can do to change it if it happens during a game either way. And the girls got some really good understanding, and we'll go out and train it tonight, and then we're able to hopefully put some mechanisms in place that the girls can change on the ground with our leaders, particularly Chloe and Lucy can drive the changes needed to get that balance right.
The opportunity, obviously, to get on the road after something like that as well, is that a good way to kind of get the group together mentally too, to be on the road together?
100%. It's a women on a mission weekend this weekend, where we get the group together, and we're going to try a few different things. We've got a couple of things, as I said, we want to try, and we'll make a couple of changes to the side as well when we go through match committee tomorrow to try and play a certain way, and I'm excited, can't wait.
How's Brooke Lachlan looking for her a game against her old side? Is she going to be back?
Yeah, she's a test this week. She got through scrimmage really well, and that was the main thing we wanted to do, and pulled up really well from it as well. So we've just got a philosophy that you've got to get through T1 and T2 sessions to be able to play, no matter who you are. So that doesn't matter if you're Chloe Malloy or if you're a brand new player that's playing their first game. So that's just what she's got to do this week, is tick those boxes, and then her hand will be in the air nice and high for match committee.
Scotty, obviously it was a pretty brutal affair on the weekend. We saw a few head knocks, a few jersey changes. How has everyone pulled up? Is there anyone else who might not be there who was there last weekend?
No, not really. Amy Whelan, she's okay. She came up to me yesterday and showed me the cut. It's the smallest cut you've ever seen in your life, and it had so much mess. But it was just in that right spot, and being hot, it really bled. And it looked good. She got a great picture out of it, so she's quite happy for her Instagram. But no, everyone's fine, and I think the main thing for us was probably, and I like it, there was just a few bruised egos on the weekend that felt that they probably just weren't at a level to be ready to perform, and and I like that because that's a great learning for us. Obviously, we're on a journey, so it's a great learning is how do you respond when something that's in your control doesn't work, and really looking forward to it.
As you kind of said, it's that journey, it's that bus ride, but when the season's so short, having that opportunity to almost have a wake-up call in that sense, is that something that you sense the younger players in particular will take something out of, that they know that this is what we're going to have to do when we're competing in 10-week seasons and in the future as well when the season expands?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a big lesson, and even the players that play in the scrimmage matches as well, they, that their opportunity to they want to be in the side, and we just discussed at a meeting we had for our training to what we're going to actually train. Whether do you take the mindset that it's been a pre-season, you're week 7 and 8 now, and you got an interstate trip? Do you give them a lighter night and things like that? And we just threw that around the table, and it was great that nobody at the table thought that was the case. Everyone still thinks that we're fresh, we're ready, and we're about learning. And the young ones, in their feedback, so they do a self-reflection, no matter whether they play scrimmage or AFLW. So they sat down with their line coaches, and everybody just said, "Yep, I can see it." And as I said, the team meeting was really positive. It was interactive. There's no shouting or ranting and raving. It's all about learning, and we were able to get some really good learnings, and now they get the chance to put that into practice. And similar to what I said with the gap between the first win and the second win, this is another opportunity now to see where we're at when you play not at your best, and see what we get this week.
And just finally, in terms of... Sorry, you go, Jen.
No, it's all good. Sorry.
And just finally, in terms of turning things into scoreboard pressure, is there anything in particular that you're going to try and work on this week? Because it felt that the entries were good last week, but it was just a few sort of things and conversion rates that maybe let you guys down sort of in that forward 50 when you actually got the ball in there on the weekends. Yeah,
we're putting the ball into spots we don't want to put the ball. So our forward structure is based around a system that involves mids as well, and we like to get the ball flowing. And any time we get held up, what happens is that we have a couple of set mechanisms that so the forwards can know where the mids are likely to put the footy. And we actually did pretty much the complete opposite on the weekend for whatever reason, whether it was just scoreboard pressure or the Hawthorn's pressure, probably a combination of both, to be honest. But we let ourselves down in that area, and we just didn't get value, as you said, for our inside 50s. And it's an easy fix. It was very obvious when we reviewed it, and we should be able to fix that this week.
Just on that forward mechanism, obviously last week didn't go the way you wanted, but throughout the season, Beck Privatelli has really come to the fore. She's equal first in the comp for marks inside 50, and her ability to take those marks and be a real leader in the forward line has been so important for you. Is that the mechanism? Is that the extra support she's got? What is it? Personal growth from her? What's driven that?
I think it's a bit of everything there, Jem. It's personal growth, definitely. She's very honest with where she was at as a footballer. She's striving to get consistency in her game, and I spoke to her pre-season about the ability to, if you're not going to mark the ball, it's got to come to the fall of the ball, bring the ball down to ground. Sorry, so we can get to fall of the ball. What happened last year in previous seasons with Priv is that she would try to mark the ball, but she would bring the ball down. So it's either I think anyway, in my opinion, as a key forward, you've got to go at the ball nice and hard so that if it does come off your hands, it comes out with a distance, and that gives our smalls an opportunity. But you've got to remember last week we didn't have Alicia Newman or Brooke Lachlan in the team, and when you take out experienced players that are very good at fall of the ball and play some kids in there, then you get a bit of a different result. So that'll be a selection thing, and if both of those girls come through training, then we're likely to look at them for match committee as well. But I think it was I don't think it was Priv on the weekend. I think Priv played pretty well. It was more about that connection when the ball came off her hands if she didn't mark it, and then vice versa when she was high up the ground when she did mark it, we just didn't have the shape correct to deliver the ball inside 50.
Has she been a really positive leader in terms of self-improvement, but also bringing others into game then? Yeah,
definitely. I think when Chloe and Lucy came into the squad, it was it was never, no conversation about captaincy or leadership was ever had with those two. It was just about bringing what they bring from a footy IQ, a talent perspective clearly. And then we discussed it with our existing leaders from last year, and Priv was one of those. And Priv in particular, she just could not be more supportive and said, whatever happens, happens. And I just want to play good footy and it won't stop me leading. And that's easy to say, but it's harder to do. And she's done that to the T. She's been terrific. She's the loudest voice down in the forward line, instructs others, sets up stoppages where she's at the back of a stoppage. She's been elite this year.